Everything I love will end, including me, including the people who would remember me, including eventually the people who would remember them. I don't say this to be dark. I say it because it's the plain arithmetic of being alive, and I think most of us spend enormous energy not looking at it. Given enough time, and time is the one thing there's no shortage of, every trace of me will be gone. Every photograph. Every story told about me. The last person who ever thinks my name will think it, and then think something else, and then die too. So here is the question I keep circling. If that's true, if nothing I do survives, if the universe forgets me completely and forever, then does any of it matter? Did it ever? There's an old answer to this, and it's the answer faith gives. The answer is, it matters because it doesn't actually end. There's a God who remembers. There's an eternity where nothing true is lost. The reason your small kindnesses count is that they're recorded somewhere permanent, witnessed by something that does not forget. Meaning is real because permanence is real. And I understand the pull of that completely. Because notice what it assumes. It assumes that for something to matter, it has to last, that a thing which ends cannot have been truly meaningful, that permanence is the price of significance. But the more I sit with that assumption, the less sure I am of it. Because think about what we're actually saying. We're saying a sunset is meaningless because it fades. We're saying a piece of music doesn't matter because it ends when the last note dies. We're saying that an embrace is worthless unless it lasts forever, that because you eventually let go, the holding meant nothing. And that's obviously wrong. We know it's wrong. The sunset is not less beautiful because it fades. Its fading is part of the beauty. The song is not cheapened by ending. The ending is what gives it shape. A note that never stopped wouldn't be music. It would be a siren. The very things we find most precious are precisely the things that don't last. A child's laugh, a first snow, the face of someone young before time takes it. We don't love these things despite their impermanence. We love them, partly, because of it. So maybe I had the equation backwards. Maybe permanence isn't the source of meaning. Maybe permanence would destroy meaning. Imagine you could never lose anything. Imagine every moment lasted forever, every person stayed, nothing ever ended. It sounds like paradise until you actually think about it. In a world where nothing is lost, nothing is precious, because preciousness comes from scarcity, from the fact that this moment, this face, this afternoon light will not come again. An eternal thing cannot be cherished. You can only cherish what you can lose. And this is where it turns strange for me, on the question of faith. Because I used to think the deepest religious longing was for eternity, for the thing that doesn't end. But I've started to wonder if that longing, taken literally, is a kind of mistake. A wish that, if granted, would empty life of exactly the tenderness we wanted eternity to protect. Maybe what the longing is really for is not endless duration. Maybe it's for the moment to be honored, for this fleeting, vanishing, never to return instant to be seen, to be held, to count, even though it ends, especially because it ends. Not a demand that it last forever, a wish that its brevity not be the same as nothingness, And I think that wish might actually be answerable. Not by eternity, by attention. Because here's the thing I keep arriving at, and then doubting, and then arriving at again. The moment does not have to last to have been real. It happened. That is a fact that nothing can ever undo. 1 billion years from now, in a cold and empty universe that remembers nothing, it will still be true that on a certain evening, a man lifted his small son onto his shoulders, and the boy laughed, and for one moment neither of them was afraid. The universe forgetting it does not reach back and make it not have happened. The past is the one thing that is truly permanent. It is unreachable, unchangeable, safe. What was can never become what never was. So maybe nothing lasts. And maybe that's all right. Because lasting was never what made things matter. They mattered because they were here, fully, briefly once. And being here once, it turns out, is not a smaller thing than being here forever. It might be a larger one. I don't know if anyone is keeping the record. I've made my peace with not knowing that. But I've stopped needing someone to keep it because the moment kept itself simply by occurring. It doesn't need eternity to ratify it. It already happened. Nothing can take that. Everything I love will end. And I'm learning slowly that the ending is not the enemy of the love. The ending is the reason the love was ever worth anything at all. One of the quiet things. Behind the closed door.